Good morning, what about you mates? It's me, Paddy from across the shuck, and this is my posh video this morning. I'm doing a video on the HX Outdoors. You would have seen my parcel from Gearbest. This is not within my capability, but my subscribers have grown so much now. There's people within our little family. This is the sort of knife they buy every day, you know, $100 plus. So, I mean, we'll have to do for everybody, and thankfully Gearbest has given me this opportunity to do this for everybody. This is a cracking knife. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it before. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll take it out and we'll look at it while it's there. It comes in this lovely boxes. All the HX Outdoors do. Comes in a nice box, and it comes in an even nicer. I'll set this out of the way. This is one of the nicest pouches I think about at the minute, because it's small, it's for one knife, and that's it. It can go into your pocket if you just want to slip it in your pocket. This is really lovely, but can I tell you, the materials this is made with, as you'll soon find out. There's the lovely pouch, and if you can see the inside of it, there you go. It's a lovely pouch. It's a couple of elastic straps there, so if you wanted to put a couple of sharpening rods in there, you could, or one of those fold out ones just to take with you. So, and this is the big beauty here, isn't that just? Now, the detent on this is just phenomenal. It fires it out there. It would nearly take it out of your hand if you weren't careful. So I'm going to set it down and I'm going to tell you a little bit about this knife. Apart from the fact that it is aesthetically beautiful looking. As I said, it's an HX Outdoors, and this is a premier numbered edition of an HX. That can't get me words out. The HX Outdoors. And it would remind you of another knife that I'm sure those of you who are in that buying bracket, or anybody that just watches YouTube, it would remind you of the Reich Thor 3. And it would be right to remind you of it because it looks, the shape, everything about it is exactly the same. The handle is different, but it comes with m390, and let me tell you, it's a big chunk of m390. And this is the interesting part of this, and this is why it's special, and this is why it's numbered. And this one is number 49 of 130. So I don't believe there's a whole lot of these left, but if you're interested, I wouldn't hang about. I don't have a money off voucher for this. This is the premium range, and they don't give money off. And when you hear the price of it, you realize why, for what you're getting. So Jake over at the Canadian Cutting Edge was a bit suspicious about this, and he actually contacted Reich. And now he's done a version of this over on his channel. Go over and watch it by all means. Jake's a good fella, but he contacted Reich. And apparently the reason why this looks like the Thor is the designer of this knife and the Thor, who's a man called Richard Wu. He's been working for both of the companies, and both companies know that their knives are going to look similar except for the handle. So they're quite happy with that. They, as companies, they know they had the same designer and they've used his design. They've changed it to suit their company knife. So there's no problem. I completely believe that this is M390, and this is what the strange part about this is. This is silicon carbide alloy handle. Silicon carbide alloy handle. Silicon carbide is used for drill heads. So you could actually sharpen this M3 blade on this. Do you know what I mean? This is harder than the M3 in this blade. So that sounds quite weird. Why would they want to put that in the handle? I couldn't give you an answer to that, but I'll tell you what I can give you. You see, when you put it in your hand and you hold it in your hand, this is a big knife. There's no doubt about it. It's a big knife. But you see, when you hold this in your hand, the feel of this handle material, I don't think it would pick it up. If you can see, it's nearly like you can see wee sparkly bits on it. Let me see. Am I getting that? I don't know whether I'm getting that or not. But now, it's by no means harsh, but it has a grip that I can't explain. It's nearly like a soft, but it's like a velvet with a catch to it. It's also got these lovely milled lines here and here, which is where you grab with one finger and your first finger and your last finger, which really gives you grip and purpose. It gets this hand down here and it gets the back of your hand here where the clip is. The clip is a lovely milled clip. There you go. It's not particularly deep carry, but this is a knife for, the clip just doesn't interfere with you. It is beautiful at night. I love this blade shape. The Tanto, or is it an American Tanto they call it? I'm not sure what they call it. It would be very easy if you wanted just to round this and put a big belly. It wouldn't take much bath sharpening to do that. But I mean, you can keep it the way it is, and I'll want to keep it the way it is. And I wish I hadn't said that now, because I've never sharpened m390. So we'll see. But let me tell you, it is beautiful, really beautiful in hand. I'm going to cut it. This is it, just straight out of the box. I have done nothing with this other than take pictures. Look at that. Can you hear that? It is just absolutely razor sharp. Let's get a wee bit of cardboard. I like my wee bit of cardboard. Look at that. It is just beautiful. And just so as we're fair on it, this is a wee bit of paracord, and I'll use the top end of this now. I just want you to see how much it just literally passes through it. You know, even though it's not a big bit, look, there's the end of it. It's just it just cuts through. It is so easy. It is a lovely, lovely blade. So, should we give you some specs on the blade so that you get a true sense of what size it is? I hope you found that wee story interesting. And I really do thank Jake from Canadian Cutting Edge for taking the time to ring Rike up and go through that process. I was usually email him, send ringing, and you know what that can be like trying to get through to these big companies. If you've ever tried, it is a blooming nightmare. So a big thank you to Jake from Canadian Cutting Edge. Pop over, see him on the channel, tell him Paddy sent you over, and you can watch his review of this as well, if that's what you like to do. Now, its cutting edge is about 3 5/8, and the handle length is 5 inches. So again, it's a big knife. Let's do it in these silly numbers. In centimeters, it's about 9 centimeters for the cutting edge, and it's 22.5 centimeters long. So, I mean, that is the length. Sorry, I meant to say our full length is, Stephen dear, do you know, it's about 8 3/4. It's a big, long knife. The blade thickness, let me give you that. The blade thickness is 4 mil. 1.58, 1.59 inches. And the last but not the least, turn that on. And that's in ounces, it weighs 5.4. Now that's a really good weight. I mean, this is not titanium, this is silicon carbide. This is a hard, dense material. And to keep it to that weight, obviously because of it's got completely well and truly lightened by the holes on either side of it. I mean, there's 6 holes on either side of it. There's big cutouts in the inside, if you'll see there on that side, and on that side, the lock bar side. So it really has been well and truly, and even on the inside, if you can see inside of there, don't know whether you can, but it's milled out in the inside. So to keep that to 5.4 ounces, say 5.5 ounces, I think that's amazing. And for the size of the blade, that is a big, thick blade in depth. In depth, that blade is about 1.25 inches deep, you know, and the thickness of it, you know, for 4 mil of m390, I mean, they haven't skimped on anything at all in this knife. They've skimped on nothing. I'm gonna, never mind, I'll not do it. I have to clean this because it's doing my head in. I hate a dirty knife. So, yes, I told you about Richard Wu, the designer, and it's drill head material. It's what they use for these big drills underground going through anything. And I think that is I don't know whether it's something they'll go on from or try to, because it must be awfully difficult to mill that. If you take it how hard carbide is, how hard must that be to mill? The tooling that goes into it, and maybe that's why it's a just a run of what did I say? It's a run of 130. I've not seen it on any other knife. Maybe other people have, but I think it's nice to have something that most people are never going to have, because I couldn't see this being and efficient. There's another knife this size, exactly the same, which I'll get in the future, and it's titanium, and it's not M390, it's the S35VN. So we'll get a go at that. Hopefully, maybe the next, the order after next, we'll get a look at that, and we'll see the weight difference between this and that. So there we go, a lovely knife. Do I recommend? How could I not recommend this knife? The action on the knife is just, it really is just the detent, bang, it just shoots it out. But it's the action. I can make that go in one go just with an extra wee flick. The detent, bang, big knife comes out with a real thump. Absolutely beautiful. I love it. I really do love it. It's a knife. It would make you. It'd be strange to say this in this sort of knife, but this would be. See, if you worked on a building site or somewhere and you wanted a knife that's going to be hard enough to take any task, this is the knife to take. Do you want to know what price it is? Do you want to know what price it is for an 8 3/4 inch knife with silicone carbide alloy handle, an M390 4mm M390 with an over 3.5 inch cutting edge? Do you want to know what it is? Today, if you go on Gearbest, you can buy this at a reduced price. It's on offer today for £116. £116 for M390. There should be a queue knocking the door today. And if you do, would you, in the description, I'll give you a link that'll take you there. I don't get anything for that. I decided to waive that because I wanted to keep my opinions myself. I didn't want somebody pay me to say something was nice. So that link just lets them know that you've come from my channel, that we are a buying entity, and the more we buy, the more knives they give me of all sorts of quality, and keep this channel going. And that's what it does. It really is keeping this channel going. And donations, kind donation from my subs, also keeps it going. Even down below here, I've that many knives now that have been modded for me. I'm taking turns, I'm moving them about each time to put a different knife at the front. But look, for $116, you know, if you've got that sort of money lying about, just go and buy it, because it really is. I don't think you'll get an opportunity to buy a silicon carbide handle again. And I'm telling you, it is lovely. You see the forward choil on it? I get a full grip here, right? There's my full hand grip. They're still sticking out the bottom. So it wouldn't matter what size your hand is. But you see that forward choil? Look at that. Look how much comes out the back. So you can really get, if you've got a smaller hand, you can really get up, or a bigger hand and you just want to get closer, you can really get up on this knife no matter what size your hand is. It is so comfortable. It doesn't dictate. It's just your front finger. It dictates where it goes if you're holding the full hand. But let me tell you, you can just sneak up. Everything is rounded. There's nothing harsh about this. I'm saying about silicon carbide, there's nothing harsh. Nothing at all. Lovely backspacer. Detailed backspacer. And it's what you'd expect on a $300 knife, isn't it? It really is. It's what you'd expect. Look at the lockup on that. Isn't that just lovely? I would say that lockup is about 40%. That's what you want from a new knife. But that, you know, it's just stunning. And it's got the usual thing. It's got your insert there. Obviously carbide must stick as well, or maybe they weren't taking the chance, but it's there, and the over travel stop is there. Lovely milled pocket clip. Just everything about it. And obviously it's on bearings. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't get a big light knife like this moving. I mean, this is, we nudge, look, it goes. It's just lovely. And that's because that detent is so good. It is so good. You do have to give it some welly to get it going, but not a whole lot. There you go. So I hope you've enjoyed this knife. My first really expensive knife from Gearbest. I love it. I hope you do too. I'm just about to get invaded by my granddaughter. Come on in. My granddaughter and my wife are just back, and she's going to look. There she is there. Say, hiya.
Hiya.
Do you like Pop's knife? Is that a nice knife? Should them men buy that knife? Well, you've heard it from Tamia's voice. Buy this knife. Take care, everybody. Thank you very much. Say bye-bye, Tamia.
Bye.
Bye. Give him a wave. Give him a wave. Bye. See you later. Bye. Take care, folks. I hope you like it. Any questions, just ask down below. All the very best. Bye-bye now.